A weak, feeble, and old Donald Trump just admitted on stage that he lost the 2020 election to President Biden. Now, Trump is speaking on stage to an extremist group named Moms for Liberty, and we know for a fact that Donald Trump knows he lost the 2020 election. Everybody around him, from Mike Pence to Bill Barr to Mark Meadows, even Ivanka Trump told him, "You lost the election," and Donald Trump continued to double, triple, quadruple down on these election fraud claims. But he accidentally admitted this on stage. Let's jump into it. Let's not waste any time. Make sure you leave a like on this video and make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. People think they're subscribed, but they're not. This NPR article is titled "Moms for Liberty Among Conservative Groups Named Extremist by a Civil Rights Watchdog," and this group is disgusting. More than 2 years into a conservative push against teaching about Black history, literature, and gender identity in public schools, the Southern Poverty Law Center has concluded that a dozen so-called parental rights groups behind the movement are extremists. The civil rights organization particularly focuses on the largest, Moms for Liberty, in its Year in Hate and Extremism report. They are really seeking to undermine public education holistically and to divide communities. So when Donald Trump says that he wants to eliminate the Department of Education and allow the states to dictate education, I mean, groups like Moms for Liberty, these nonprofits, would begin to infiltrate the institutions of each state and dictate what can be taught and what can't be taught, and you better bet your bottom dollar that they would remove Black history classes or remove any sort of classes that say, hey, it's okay to be who you are. This clip of Donald Trump in Washington, D.C. about 15 minutes ago is wild. He's making up lies about Biden, as he always does.
And the following morning, I come into the beautiful Oval Office, that Resolute desk, which is so beautiful. You know, now Biden goes around using that. He didn't even know the name of the Resolute desk. Now he tells, I sit behind the Resolute desk. He doesn't even know what the hell it is. This guy, that's a beauty.
Donald Trump has an obsession with the spotlight, and that's why he makes these apocalyptic, dangerous, bizarre statements that are always lies. He's not a leader. He's somebody who is seeking attention, seeking the headlines, and oftentimes it does work. I do think that VP Harris will ruin him in this debate. I mean, it'll be so easy. She is a prosecutor. He is a criminal. Leave a like if you agree. Trump then said, have you heard the story of the bus? Fake story, probably. I mean, he's just trying to tear down VP Harris's history in the same way that his running mate J.D. Vance tore down Tim Walz's history as a military veteran.
She called him a racist. The bus, you remember the story of the bus? You know, yeah. Fake story probably. Well, she also said, I worked at McDonald's. It turned out she didn't work at McDonald's. Did anybody see that?
She did.
After an exhaustive study that took about 20 minutes, they found out she never worked there.
Someone needs to send Grandpa to bed, number one. Number two, you know we have a good candidate when he's attacking whether or not VP Harris worked at McDonald's.
So, you know, there's a lot of fake stuff going on. But we don't need that for a president. And our country can't stand it. We are really in trouble. We're a failing nation, whether you like it or not. And I'm sure you don't like it. But we are a very sick nation.
The stock market is literally right about to hit all-time highs again. Unemployment is down to a healthy level. Inflation is the lowest in the world. Donald Trump is a weirdo who sits on stage and claims to love our country but undermines it at every single turn.
Failing nation. She called him a racist.
We're not a failing nation. We are doing very, very well. Now, Donald Trump, right here in this clip, here's a clip of him admitting that he lost the election. He says that Joe Biden beat him by a little bit, by a whisker.
10 or 12 million votes more than that, more than anybody had ever got. We got the most votes of anybody, of any sitting president in history. And he beat us by a whisker. And it was a terrible thing. They used COVID to cheat.
We did beat him. We did beat you by a whisker by about 11,780 votes.
And it was a terrible thing. And then I watched, and I thought it was very, very sad because of, you know, the election it brought great division to the country.
The election brought great division to the country because you made up lies about widespread election fraud that didn't exist, and then you pressure election officials in different swing states to choose your slate of electors. I mean, he is the cause of this division. The call is coming from inside the House. Trump then says our country is being poisoned. Again, this is apparently the party of patriotism, the party that loves our country. They say it is a failing nation that is being poisoned. We are going down the wrong path.
What's happening to our country is being poisoned poisoned, and your schools and your children are suffering greatly because they're going into the classrooms, they're taking the seats, and they don't even speak English. It's crazy. And what's happening?
I mean, it's just thinly veiled racism. I mean, it's pretty explicit at this point. Donald Trump says the president has such power. He could be referring to the unitary executive theory, the theory that Project 2025 embraces. They actually embrace this maximalist version that says that the president, they think it's going to be Donald Trump, will have power to do whatever he wants with no checks from Congress, no checks from the Supreme Court. So when Donald Trump, if he gets into office, stuffs our institutions full of his loyalists, and he's able to do anything and then pardon those loyalists if they back him the same way he was going to pardon the January 6 hostages, then our institutions will be torn down, the same institutions that he spends every single second of every single day attacking.
And so I just ask you, there's been an explosion in the number of children who identify as transgender, and children are being taught that they were born in the wrong body. It's an incredibly abusive message to send. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you might be able to do as president.
Well, you can do everything. President has such power.
And Donald Trump likes to abuse the power of the presidency, so when he couldn't get the border wall done, the government shut down, and he did it via executive order. Here's a clip of Donald Trump again lying about a transgender person at the Olympics. This person is not trans. Donald Trump is lying through his teeth, and then Justice just eggs him on.
They say, who did this to me? It's incredible. Just to finish that boxing, so the Italian girl is, and the left is not a hard punch for those of you not into pugilistic affairs. But a left is just sort of a guarding punch, right? So she's fighting this person that's transgendered, and the guy, boom, hits her with a left. It was like she got hit by a horse. And then she backed up, and it was weird. She's sort of like, and then he hits her with another left, and she said, that's enough, I can't take that. He ended up winning the gold medal. And there was another one who also transgendered, and he or she ended up also winning the gold medal. Yeah. Tiffany said it, I didn't. See, I'm a politician, I have to be politically correct.
I'm a mom, I have to protect my kids.
Protect your kids from what? These people are such weirdos, the ones who encroach on other people's rights and then cry and play victim. It's called a cry bully. They bully other people and they cry when they get hit. Mike Lindell has done it to me. Brian Glenn has done it to me. Donald Trump does it all of the time. And if this is an example of what we're going to get at the debate, I think VP Harris will crush him. It's going to be great to see. Every time Donald Trump opens his mouth, he gets increasingly unhinged.